Roll call, please.
Dr. Luna Najera. Here. Mr. Del Palacio. Mr. Ortega Romero.
Here.
Mr. Chapman.
Here.
And Ms. Sun.
Here. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Member Chapman will be making the acknowledgement statement this evening.
Tolleson Union High School District serves 14,000 students with 15 indigenous communities represented throughout our 7 high schools. The Tolleson Union High School District Governing Board would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land, the Yakima, and Peepaw peoples, and pay our respects to their elders past, present, and emerging. We recognize their enduring connection to this land, their rich culture and language, and the invaluable contributions they have made and continue to make in our community. As we gather today for the Tolleson Union High School District Governing Board meeting, let us remember the significance of these lands and honor the legacy of the original stewards of this territory.
Thank you, Member Chapman.
Quick question. The agenda that is here has to be first. Do we do the celebration first, or are we going to
So
do
we need to
the
approve the agenda first.
Are we going to approve agenda? No, so it doesn't matter. Okay. So we have to approve the consent agenda. So this one is for previous one, right?
Can I get a motion to approve the regular agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Dr. Luna Najera.
No.
Mr. Mr. Ortega Romero.
Yes.
Mr. Chapman.
Yes.
And Ms. Sun.
Yes. And now to the celebration of this evening, Sierra Linda High School. Superintendent Guys, please take it away.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, I'd like to invite up our proud principal of Sierra Linda High School, Mr. Randy Camacho.
President Sun, Vice President Chapman, Superintendent Cayes, members of the board, Lupita Goodman. It is indeed a pleasure to be here this evening to celebrate all that is good about Sierra Linda High School. So, looking at the logo here, this is in honor of the Silk Road, which historically was many trade routes where merchants traded their goods, their wares, and also traded ideas and traded technology. And thus why we came up with this initiative called the College Silk Road, because our students have the opportunity when they leave Sierra Linda High School that they can go out and also expand their horizons by sharing what they know with others and learning from others as well. So you look at the mission here, it's empowering students to succeed in their post-secondary education. Our vision is to become the College Silk Road. That is our initiative, to have 100% of our students that leave Sierra Linda High School accepted to college. 2.6. So let me go back a little bit here. I just need to make this point. Last year, we had 88% of our students that were accepted to college, that graduated from Sierra Linda High School. right now, currently, we are at 91%. So we're gonna play the numbers game here, 2.6. 2.6 is the amount of points, or I should say, that's how close we are to being an A school. This is in 1 year's time. This is quite an accomplishment that we need to celebrate, we must celebrate, and this is a testament to the staff that we have and to the support that we receive from our district office as well. So when we look at ACT scores, we look at fall from last year to last fall to this spring, and you see again there is growth in our ACT performance. From spring last year to spring this year, again, we see growth with the ACT performance from our students. So all this is good things, or are the good things that are happening, but we can do better. So I wanted to talk to you about Flex. Flex is the 30-minute academic intervention time that we have within our schedule that allows our students to have intervention time for things that they need to accomplish, and it could be a skill, and these are determined during their PLT times when our teachers are getting together on Wednesdays and deciding what students need what type of academic interventions. The reason we have 26 flex days up there is because that's truly the measure of what we've had all year using RTI Scheduler, which is a program that is teacher created and that is very user friendly for our teachers to use. We also use iExcel, and the important thing about iExcel is that it's an online learning platform which offers practice learning for students. The idea being to cover a variety of subjects and plenty of questions and answers to help students progress. In fact, they can measure their progress even on ACT. So 26 days, when we talked about actually using Flex the way it was supposed to be used, this was second semester. This was very recently. What we did was we had 81 game changers, or students that we saw as a focus group. And what we did was we got science and we had math and English work together and doing nothing but ACT prep for 26 days. And as you can see here, we had 0.62% growth in math, 9.53% growth in English. Now, this is because, people work very hard, and English has done very well for us at Sierra Linda High School, and you will see today that we are going to honor the PLT that is responsible for this growth. Now, we did this in 26 days. Imagine what we can do in an entire school year. Okay, so number 4. Why is that up there? Well, it's an easy number. That's how many physical altercations we've had the entire year. Now, second semester, we've had 0 physical altercations. And what's impressive about this also is in first semester, 2 of these physical altercations involved the same student. So what is happening at Sierra Linda High School? Well, for one, our cell phone policy. Yale University has a class that is extremely popular, and it's called Happy. And it involves the steps or the skills that students can attain in order to be happy. And one of the things that they have to do is they have to experience a technology fast, where they're away from their phones. And because of our cell phone policy, students are away from their phone for many hours during the course of the day. So We have seen studies, time after time that show what can happen with social media and how it affects our students' well-being. So this is another example of a technology fast. And when you see this video, you'll see how our students, they cooperate. And that's the use of the cell phone locker. Now we also have the 1 minute bell, and it's a song that plays. So you'll see the two things going on. And so this one's a little different. They pull the card. So every teacher carries it out differently, but it's still the same expectation. Now, we also have a great support system at our school, whether interventionists, our social worker, our teachers, our staff, students know, we pride ourselves in the fact that they have, an adult that they can talk to. And a lot of things have come our way because students have said something to somebody. And that is, again, a testament to our staff. Also, happy accidents. Okay, so one of the happy accidents is something that was implemented this year, the 2 minute extension between classes. So we extended the class passing period by 2 minutes. And this played a major role in what we saw also with hall pass versus yellow pass. So we were pushing for hall pass, which is an electronic, I should say, format that we can use where teachers on their computers would give permission to students, to go to the bathroom and so forth. But for some reason it was held back a little bit. It was late in getting implemented. So during that time, we incorporated just a simple yellow pass, and we found that our hallways were very empty because teachers didn't want to write the pass. And teachers now had an extra reason to give to the students, hey, you have an extra 2 minutes to get to class, right? And so the teachers felt more empowered as a result of the 2 minute, the 2 extra minutes that they had between classes. So eventually, when hall pass was ready to go, we asked the teachers which they would prefer. And we actually showed the teachers also the hall pass presentation. We did that online, and we had the teachers vote on which way they wanted to go on this, and they chose the yellow pass. So we've been using that the entire year. Now, it's important that we cultivate success at Sierra Linda High School. We need to start really thinking in terms of, planning for the future. And one of the initiatives that we have going next year that we're going to implement, we'll be the first school to do this, is a freshman familia, which is basically a freshman house. And we're going to have 3 familias of 150 students each. In there, we're going to have a math teacher, a English, and a science teacher. So it's the core teachers. And the goal is to increase freshman on-track rate. So many times we lose our students their freshman year, and we don't get them back. Or their high school experience isn't a positive one. So we also are going to have an academic success class, incorporating the 7 habits of highly successful teens. Familia teachers are going to have the same prep, meet weekly to discuss student data, which is academic, attendance, behavior. We're also going to have a freshman counselor that is going to be assigned to our freshmen solely. And so we're also going to make sure that our new interventionists will work with our other interventionists to make sure that we have a plan for our freshmen. We also are including the Center for High School Success, which is another program that will help us with data have a proven record of having success with freshman houses. So we're very excited about introducing this next year to our freshman class. And this is how we're going to cultivate the future, because it starts with our freshmen. Student of the Year, Araya Clark. Araya just came from a track meet right now, and I think she placed first in discus, she placed first in shot put, and she placed first in javelin. So we proudly celebrate Araya Clark, our Student of the Year. Araya's drive and dedication shine through her involvement in wrestling, where she placed second in state. Volleyball, Stugo, and track, a passionate fan of TUHSD and a model of excellence. She lives by the motto, believe in yourself. Araya has been accepted to both Mesa and Glendale Community College and plans to pursue exercise science at ASU or NAU. Known for her academic achievements and honorable character, she is deeply respected by peers and staff alike. Araya embodies the spirit of our school, and we are excited to see all she will accomplish. Congratulations, Araya. I don't believe Alex On is here. He is also at a track meet at West Point, and he has a late event, which is long distance running. I'm hoping he'll run over here, so we'll see what happens. But I do want to honor Alex, and so I'm going to go to the next slide. And we are thrilled to honor Alex On as our Student of the Year with a 3.95 GPA. Alex leads by example through his involvement in FAFSA, peer counseling, track and field, cross country, chess, FBLA, and Stocks Club. He has been accepted to Grand Canyon University, where he plans to major in social work, a calling close to his heart, even though engineering was an option. Alex modeled, trust in your heart, be yourself, and you don't have to be popular to be amazing. Speaks to his authenticity and integrity. He's an inspiration to all. Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate Alex On. Aurelie Aguilar. Aurelie Aguilar, are you here? So I want to tell you about Aurelie. She's working there in the front office, and she's checking students in. She's doing all this work, and little does she know that we're all standing behind her. We were there to congratulate her, so it was really fun to watch. So Aurelia Aguilar, Classified Employee of the Year. We proudly celebrate Aurelia Aguilar as our Classified Employee of the Year for the past 6 years. Aurelia has served as the welcoming face of Sierra Linda, greeting every parent, student, and visitor with warmth and professionalism. Her patience, dedication, and tireless work ethic make her an essential part of our school family. Aurelia is more than a receptionist. She's a trusted presence in our front office and our bridge between school and community. Her genuine care for others and deep commitment to our families stand out every day. Sierra Linda shines brighter because of Aurelia Aguilar. Remember, this is her quote, remember the best job goes to the person who can get it done without passing the buck or coming back with excuses. Congratulations, Aurelia. Certified Employee of the Year, Teacher of the Year, Caitlin Savinsky, better known as Katie. Katie is truly deserving of Sierra Linda's Teacher of the Year award. She consistently goes above and beyond for both her students and her colleagues. Ms. Savinsky is passionate about education and continually seeks ways to actively engage her students through hands-on learning opportunities. She finds ways to partner with other departments to ensure no student is left behind and to meet the student where they are. Ladies and gentlemen, Katie Savinsky. PLT of the Year. So this is our junior English department, and they have done an incredible job. So when I showed you that statistic, that data that showed the growth among our 81 game changers, they were the ones that got the 9% increase. And they continually perform. But the biggest strength that they have is the power of belief. So, congratulations to Audrey Zielinski. Step forward, please. Oh, I understand also, sorry, let me do this. I also understand you're a big fan of Hunger Games.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And so I understand, I mean, somebody told me that there's a new release, I don't know. So
Yes.
Right.
Probably
Okay, so the admin team has got a gift for you, which is, yep, let's take it up to that. It's a gift card to AMC Theater.
Thank you.
Okay, Audrey Zielinski, step forward. Cassandra Hammond. Candace Delgado. Susie Ballinger. And a former student of mine, Christina Erickson. Congratulations on being selected as the PLT of the Year. This recognition is a testament to your unwavering dedication, hard work, and passion for teaching. Your innovative approaches and commitment to student success have truly set you apart. You have inspired not only your students, but also your colleagues, fostering a collaborative and supportive environment. Your efforts have made a significant impact on our community, and we are incredibly proud of all of you and all that you have achieved. Thank you for your exceptional contributions and for making a difference every day. Here's to continued success and many more achievements. Okay, so this is our admin team. Can you please rise? Assistant Principal of Athletics, Chris Bennett. Assistant Principal of Discipline, Erin Carlone. Assistant Principal of Instruction, Vicky Hott. And Assistant Principal of Registration, Dr. Fernando Hurtado, who actually cracked a smile in this picture. So projects aligned with our values. We have been approved for a media center renovation, so we're very excited about that. We have a recording studio that is just about there. We will be using it next year for media production, and we'll also be using it for Guitar 7 and 8 and our after-school BART program. Also, our courtyard modernization project continues, and when you see the canopies, the solar powered canopies, they are good to go, so it's progressing nicely. Also, our sincere thanks for the great furniture that was provided to us for our cafeteria. Our students truly appreciate it. It's helped with that positive climate that we have at Sierra Linda High School, and our students are very appreciative of that. So, in short, the state of Sierra Linda is strong. So, I am looking forward to presenting to you next year all that Sierra Linda has accomplished. And once again, we thank you for your support. I will do a mic drop if I could, but it's not possible.
No, you just tap it, and then, yeah, there you go. Members, questions, comments?
Mr. Camacho, such a great presentation. I think, from a human resource background, one thing that really, just sticks out to me about your campus is the innovation that has gone into it. Building that positive culture for students is something that, from a strategic standpoint, does really well with overall academics. I'm really interested in learning more about the freshman familia. I think that that's an awesome idea, and you're right. I think the time when students get off course is freshman year. So I look forward to hearing more about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Blancho. Great presentation. Certainly thank you to the entire Bulldog staff, administrators, teachers, our classified folks representing the school Tolleson. Sorry, Sierra Linda well. Sierra Linda very well in our district. Congratulations to our students and staff members that we're recognizing for also being great examples of Sierra Linda and our school district. Every year we just continue hearing phenomenal updates coming out of there, and I'm excited that the 2.6 points doesn't sound like a whole lot. I know that you and your team are going to definitely work to push to get that over that hurdle. I'm confident that the team behind you can get that done. So looking forward to see what you all have to present next year. But truly thank you to everyone in Sierra Linda for the work that you've been doing this year and constantly to serve our students. So thank you all.
Mr. Camacho, thank you so much for a great presentation. To his admin team, your admin team, thank you so much for all the work you do to keep our students safe. Impressed on the student safety and the altercations. I think that speaks highly of the staff and teachers building those relationships with those students and being able to intervene so that things don't escalate. And so it's always nice to know that the campus is safe, because I think that's a huge priority for our community and our families. I'm curious to get some data on your cell phone policy, just to kind of see what the teachers are experiencing, how things can be tweaked to make that more permanent. And I guess, if we're able to build that out district-wide, that would be awesome, because the kids look like they're all complying, and that's great because that removes that distraction from them. And with a cell phone policy coming from the state legislature, it's important to get ahead of that if we can. To the freshman familia program, I wish we would have thought of that way sooner. It is very well known that our students fall off track that freshman year, and it is very hard to get them back on track. Unfortunately, once they're juniors and seniors, we're playing catch up, and it's hard on the students, it's hard on the staff, it's hard on everybody to try to get them caught up and on course to graduate on time. So I commend you for taking the initiative, and I look forward to hearing more about that. To the students of the year, Aria and Alex, congratulations. I am so excited to see where you go, and I would love to get a check-in at some point on the great things that you're doing. To Areli, and you are the smiling face that I see whenever I have to come onto the campus, and so I appreciate your patience, especially dealing with our families who are monolingual, and so being able to talk to them in Spanish, I think is wonderful, so I thank you for that. Ms. Savinsky, you are a rock star. That's all I will say. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Camacho, I would agree with you that the state of Sierra Linda is strong and rising. You look at all the data points, all the arrows are pointing up. So you're trending in the right direction. And that's a true testament to the leadership on campus that empowers the staff to be able to do what they do best, and that is teach our kids. And so it's evident right here, I'm looking right at it. So thank you for sharing that. Love to see the shift in culture, climate on campus. Glad to hear that the projects are gonna be coming online, that the kids are looking forward to that, staff are looking forward to that, so great work all around. Thank you for that, appreciate it.
Principal Camacho, I just love what you've done to the place. The renovation, the superstar, support system that you have over there, particularly the innovative pioneer spirit, initiating the cell phone. We do know that we had a representative at the ledge with the bill number, I think 2848, with the cell phone. It was approved by the 9th floor, the governor herself, and that will be implemented this coming fall. Just to give you a heads up, for the rest of the district, we already directed leadership to look into various models, including feedbacks from all teachers and staffs. We did acknowledge that some courses, they need to have a different, layout, but nevertheless, the innovative, the forethought into getting that project going on and setting it off at Sierra Linda, kudos to you. You didn't even know this, but you guys were the guinea pigs, and we were just watching you guys behind the glass window. So everything here that you have presented, I know there is much, much more, underneath the surface. That is not lost on us. We know the challenges from campuses to campuses, the limited or the obstacles, and sharing that with us. We will continue to support you and your staffs. And again, kudos to all your assistant principal. I know that they're sitting there, united from whatnot, and coming up and, and doing what they do best. And, that does not go unnoticed. The performance and the needle moving with the slightest number is always in the right direction. Always, love to see that. The outcome of it for the students, student outcomes. If we could just, follow you up and, put a price on it, it'll be priceless. But thank you so much for being here and being here for the kids, and we can't wait to hear updates. And again, congratulations to PLT on your Teachers of the Year. That's amazing. That's just to keep on pushing that number. It's phenomenal, and that's exactly what we're all heading towards. So thank you.
Thank you.
So now we will move to the summary of current events. Superintendent Guys, please take it away.
Madam President, do you want to take a break for the show? No. All right, Madam President, members of the board. Recently we had Gavino Bustamante, varsity baseball pitcher at La Jolla Community High School, throw a no-hitter, complete game shutout. Gavin, Gavin is a senior and a major contributor to the varsity baseball team. His pitching record is 5-1 with a 3.3 ERA. He has 48 strikeouts and 29 2/3 innings pitched. He is hitting .381 with 18 RBIs and 4 triples. Gavino cannot be here tonight because he has a game, but he wanted to be sure to congratulate him. So once again, congratulations for Gavino. Tolleson Union High School class of 2024 graduate Michaela Lopez is making waves as a wrestler with Ottawa University. She was the first female wrestler from Tolleson who placed at state, the first to commit to a university for women's wrestling, and is now the 2025 NCWA Women's Wrestling National Champion in the 103-pound weight class. Congratulations go out to Michaela. Recently, La Jolla Community High School had ABC 15's Nick Calete visit the school to see the students do their own morning announcements. Nick had a great time meeting with the students and providing them with some tips and pointers. And Nick had a chance to meet the kids and hang out with Miss Heather Eaton. It was a cool experience for Nick and the students over there at La Jolla. And we are proud to announce the following winners of the FBLA Regional Conference on April 3rd for Sierra Linda High School. The business team, Diego Bastidas, second place for parliamentary procedures. Alex On, second place for parliamentary procedures. J.C. Hardy, second place parliamentary procedures. Matthew Reeves, second place parliamentary procedures. Lilith Conchella, second place parliamentary procedures. And Steve Martinez, fifth place sales presentation. And on the media team, Jacqueline Ramirez Ugarte, first place for future business educator. So congratulations to them. And one last update, I've left a copy of the DEI letter for all of you there with your packets. This is something that we've been wrestling with recently. We have a meeting called for tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock, which I appreciate that the board is going to weigh in and make a decision on whether or not we will or will not sign the letter. So we'll have that meeting tomorrow. That's in your packets. As you're looking through that letter and coming prepared tomorrow for discussion, I'd just like to point out a couple things about the letter. The letter goes on to state that no person in the United States shall, on the ground of race, color, or national origin, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. It goes on to reiterate this. However, it breaks from our typical interpretations of what it means for discrimination, and it almost flips it, and that's where the concern is at, because currently we have programs such as federal funds for Johnson O'Malley, Title VII Indian Education, where we do limit to just those who are qualified for those programs. Special education, English learners. We have a lot of programs that are, in fact, targeted. And with the way this reads, any DEI policies or anything that has any restrictions could potentially result in a breach of contract, all of our funds being taken away, and additional penalties, which include individual penalties for those who are participating in programs. But on the flip side, not signing the letter also opens us up to being put on hold and losing federal funds immediately. So it's something for the board to consider, and I appreciate that we called for a meeting tomorrow night to go discuss this in the further detail. And that's all my updates for today.
Thank you, Superintendent, guys. And now to the board members, any updates?
Just real quick, this morning was fun. We had to celebrate our transportation team for breakfast. Amazing individuals that move our district forward, bringing the kids to school, sending them off home safely. So we appreciate all the work that Bert and his team over there are doing. And they also got to watch them fry up some pancakes and sausage and stuff, so it's always fun watching breakfast. And then last week, I got to also visit West Point High School and watch their student-based budgeting. The students were voting on 1 of 4 projects. So I haven't heard the results of that yet, or if it's been announced yet, but I'm looking forward to seeing what the students put together for that. And hopefully that's something we kind of spread around to the rest of our schools. I think it's great when we can get our students to engage, not just with the district and their local community, but at the school. Hopefully other sites kind of see what went on there, and if they're interested, or student governments pick it up. But other than that, I know we got one more meeting before graduation, so I appreciate everyone for the final push, getting all of our kids, especially our seniors, through the last couple of hurdles, and thank you for all your work across the district.
Thank you, Member Chapman. I just want to elaborate on the statements of the letter of the Title VI. The concern that we had, and the reason we're going to call for the special meeting tomorrow, is that this document is very concerning. It does target.
Point of order. This is not on the agenda.
This is the elaboration of the update from the
But it is not on
superintendent.
the agenda.
We're not
It's not
addressing
on the
it.
agenda.
It's just a
We should be
statement,
discussing
and
it.
being the president, I am going to allow it. Thank you. So again, just to reiterate what Superintendent guys elaborated on is that the language is confusing, and that we are asking for this special meeting so that you guys can hear the discussion and the debate. So, with that said, I just want to add that caveat. These languages are very, very dangerous. So if no further updates, comments, I would like to take 5-minute breaks, but please enjoy the cookies and drinks here, and we will reconvene shortly.
The benefits of unified sports are social participation and the exposure to new activities, things that they might not have otherwise had opportunities to participate in.
When we build our equipment and our kids who can't typically participate are able to do something independently, the joy that they get from doing that activity for the first time is incredible.
I didn't really like playing in front of people in the beginning because I thought I wasn't good at it. And then once I got used to playing in front of people, I got a little bit out of my shell, and now I'm comfortable playing with other people.
I learned that I need to be confident.
Confident.
So you want to be more confident?
Yeah.
You learn to be more confident?
Special Olympics has had such an impact on the Arizona community as a whole because we are really focused on community for all. It doesn't matter what kind of situation you're in, what is your disability. We are really here for everybody, making life happen for everybody, making fun happen for everybody, because sports are fun.
We've been playing like different kind of sports like volleyball, and we played this one game. It's called that. We wear these like uniforms and stuff like that. Like whoever had the ball, you stop, and we throw it to our teammate. Now we just like legit play badminton. We started train super hard that day.
Funnest, most happiest people I've ever seen in my life. It's just every day is just they have that positivity that can spread everywhere, like it's contagious.
Unified sports benefits students with and without disabilities in just so many ways. You see them come into the class at the beginning of the year and they're very shy, not very aware of how to act or behave, and then you just see these relationships blossom and grow, and they truly do become like a team, and they're super close, super tight, and our students really do show really great examples of this throughout competitions, is really supporting those that do have disabilities and just having those friendships and building that support and having that support for one another.
I really enjoyed dancing because I learned that when the first time I danced, I was shy, but then I realized that dancing can be not just about dancing, it can be about making memorable memories.
During these past few months of the year when we started, I feel that the most memorable moment is when we all started playing, not knowing what we were doing, but we still figured it out in front of everyone.
We love everything unified, bringing people together, athletes, partners, giving them that normal experience of a team. And as a district, we came together and said, let's plan these events, district events.
At first I was coming into it not knowing what to expect. And I feel like that's most cases for like things that you haven't tried before. but I definitely feel that I've grown so much with it. I've learned a lot, and it's something that I want to do more with. Like, I want to be a part of my future.
I think that you can look at the footage of students and see the smiles on their faces and know that what Unified Sports is offering those students in general is a great deal of independence, success, and joy. I think you can look at any single player and be like, this program is making a difference.
I think the partners too, like
for sure,
they get really excited to learn about our switch stuff and all the equipment we use, and then encouraging their athlete to participate. So I think it's a growing and learning opportunity for them that they really enjoy.
Join it, because it's something where you're going to not only learn how to play a sport, but you're going to learn social skills with different people, knowing that when we go out into the real world, it's not just going to be us, it's going to be other people. And they're no different than us, but it's just showing that we're going to have that type of connection with special education than just gen ed kids.
I don't know, I just think Unified is one of the greatest programs that high schools can offer, and I hope that we are able to have more and more Unified classes that not just cater to Unified Sports, but then cater to all different opportunities and interests. So hopefully our program just continues to grow.
Why settle for a school that only offers you one thing?
Orderly and efficient manner. Any individual desiring to address the board to the governing board executive assistant Lupita Goodman prior to the start of the board meeting. This is a time for the public to comment. Governing board members are not permitted to discuss or take legal actions on matters raised during the open call to the public unless the matters are properly noticed for discussion and legal action. However, the law permits governing board members to do the following at the conclusion of open call to the public: respond to criticism that's made directly to that individual board member and those who have addressed the governing board. Ask staff to review a matter, ask that a matter be put on a future agenda in order to facilitate accomplishing the business of the district in a timely manner. A time limit of 3 minutes will be imposed for each individual or group addressing the board. When you approach the podium, please state your name for the record. And this evening we have 2 public comments. First will be Diane Mora. Please come to the podium.
Good evening, members of the board. I am Diane Amaro, a parent to a student who attends Tolleson Union High School, and as I've mentioned previously, my family has been a part of this community for the past 100 years. Before I get started on my comments, I want to know if that letter is going to be available online to the public so that we get to see exactly what's in it. It is already, or it will be, and when.
We can answer after.
You're giving a public comment, you don't get a response.
Yeah, I actually do get a response. Thank you, Jeremy. Anyway, this evening I wish to thank Jeremy for releasing the podcast regarding the Isaac School District deal. If anybody watching tonight online did not have a chance to already watch it, you should go watch it. In the video, Mr. Gaius informed the constituency that he was consulting during school district time, and his goal to avoid receivership failed. Although he attempts to mask this information by labeling this a good deed by a good neighbor during a time when education in Arizona is being attacked by those who seek to privatize education. Newsflash, Mr. Gaius, education is being attacked by everyone, including the president, as you guys just mentioned in the DEI thing. At a time like this, we should be doing everything to ensure the survival of our district and for the benefit of our children, not looking to bail out other districts. With such an influx of cash and property, we should be looking to expand our district and its services so our children are prepared for this unknown future that we're all heading into. Sadly, since our superintendent is unqualified, he spends his days, as mentioned in the video, consulting for 60 to 70 other school districts around Arizona. And walking into random classes and just haphazardly discontinuing programs like credit recovery that are a huge assistance to getting our seniors to graduate. Clearly, this superintendent is detrimental to our district. Not only is he wasting our hard-earned money, but he's single-handedly risking our children's future education and their safety. I want to know from you board members why you awarded him another contract.
Thank you for your comment. Our next speaker will be Hillary McKillop. McKillop?
Yes.
My apologies.
That's okay.
I know, I feel bad. Thank you for your understanding.
I'm Hillary McKillop, and I have a student at West Point High School. And I am here today because I am extremely concerned about the Department of Education's letter demanding that school districts in DEI programs or risk losing funding. Sorry. As our district governing board, you are on the front lines in the fight to save public education. And we know from the Kenneth and Mamie Clark doll test used in Brown versus Board of Education that representation matters. All children need to see themselves reflected in our nation's history. And with people and events, including Harriet Tubman, the Navajo Code Talkers, and the Stonewall Riots being removed from various government websites, it is more important than ever that K-12 students learn a history that reflects the hardships and achievements of everyone. It is also imperative that our schools continue to provide resources and accommodations for our students with 504 plans and IEPs. I have a student at Collier Elementary who's on an IEP, and with the services provided by that school, he is making great gains that he would not have made otherwise. I have read that letter in front of you, the Dear Colleague letter. It was on the Tom Horn's website. And it's gross and an appalling twisting of Title VI of the Civil Rights Act. With the vague language of the letter, who knows what the federal government will consider DEI. And I find it ironic that our federal Department of Education promotes individual merit, yet is run by a woman who has no experience in education and cannot accurately say what IDEA stands for. Is this who we're going to listen to when it comes to educating our future generations? I do not envy the decision you guys have to make tomorrow. But I do implore you to stand firm and cause good trouble, and please refuse to comply with this policy that is ignorant at best and hateful and harmful to our students at worst. Thank you.
Well done, thank you.
Real quick, just based on some comments, can we get a presentation at our next May meeting about the updates to our credit recovery program and how we're going to support students next year?
Absolutely.
Any other requests? Okay, so now we will go to the agenda E, information discussion item. It will be the phase retirement ESI employee staffing presentation, Superintendent Dries.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, I'd like to invite up our Executive Director of Human Resources, Ms. Stacy Almaraz, to present tonight.
Good evening, President Sun, Vice President Chapman, members of the board.
We wanted to bring you a short presentation and our staff as well on ESI. Our ESI is phased retirement, and it allows our district to retain employees by allowing them to be employed by a third party and contracted back to us to serve our district and our kids. So at this time, I'd really like to introduce and bring up our ESI representative, Ms. Becky TUHSD.
Vice President Chapman, members of the board, Superintendent Kayes, and Ms. Goodman. Just a quick overview this evening. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to talk about this program. We have been serving ASRS members since 1999. Prior to ESI being founded in 1999, which we were founded on the Return to Work program, employees who retired from ASRS and from your district had to follow the rules of the IRS separation of service. This included separating from the district for 1 full year of service or being limited to the 20/20 rule, which meant they could only work 20 hours a week or less for 20 weeks or less that first year of retirement. So this would greatly impact being able to have someone come back to work when you need them most. Because ESI is not an ASRS employer, this rule does not apply. So our ESI employees are allowed to basically retire 1 school year, become an ESI employee, and return right back into their same position. There are no ASRS limitations since we are not an ASRS member. There are multiple benefits for the employer and employee, so we'd like to take a minute and talk about those now. So let's start with the really great thing for the district, which is saving money. So you can see the pre-retirement salary, which would be when a employee is a district employee. That's the pre-retirement salary. When the employee retires from ASRS and retires from the district and becomes an ESI employee, their salary is reduced. You will also have our fee, and instead of paying the ASRS, you now pay in what's called the ACR, which is the alternate contribution rate. And just to break that down a little bit, for the 25-26 school year, the ASRS fee for an employee is 12%. The ACR fee will be 9.75%. So there's a savings there as well. So as you can see, there's a great savings for the district. Our fee of 18.5% includes all gross wages. So those are not given back to the district to pay. We cover that in our 18.5% fee. Each district that we work with, as well as any other ASRS employer, chooses how they wish to use the program based on your budget, special needs, and circumstances. So Ms. Almraz is going to now speak to the Tolleson Union High School District retire-rehire parameters.
So in our district, we take their retirement salary and we give them 85% of that, or the starting pay at their starting rate. So what I mean by that is, I'm going to use Mr. Hicks as an example. So Mr. Hicks, if he retired like he did this year, he is currently on ESI, and so we took 85% of his retirement salary. Well, when we look at our placement salary, and we were to place him as a new employee, if he were to be coming in, we take a look at those two numbers and we give him the higher of the two. So that is how we base one of our employees' salaries when they move to ESI. They get 100% of all supplemental pay and performance pay. So if they are a teacher and they do teacher sub-coverage, or they do tutoring after school, or they are a coach, they are still able to do all of those things with our kids and still be a sponsor, a coach, and be that mentor for our kids, and they still get their supplemental pay at 100%. They do get their performance pay, so at the very end, if they meet the requirements, which is attendance and on their evaluation, their performance, then they still get their $4,000 for their performance pay at 100%. They do not get insurance support, but they do have options. They have a COBRA, or they can choose ESI, their plan that they have through ESI on insurance. And this is the same for all of our employee groups, certified, classified, and administrative. So even time off, they still get the time off that they would get. We just put it into their ESI portal. So everything that they are doing is through ESI, not through our district. So they still get their time off. If they're a 12-month employee, they get vacation. All of those things still apply. They are just contracted through ESI.
Lastly, let's talk about the employee's income, because this is pretty awesome as well. Because the employee is no longer contributing to ASRS, as you can see, even though their salary is reduced, they're now making that 85% exiting salary as well as their pension. So no longer paying into ASRS and getting 2 sources of income every month increases their overall income. So they're earning more money, which is a great thing to do before you retire for good. So it's really a win-win program for all.
And with that, we will take any questions.
Thank you for that information. It's very thorough. We are not, in position to, make these kind of statements. So we really appreciate you coming before the board to share, for district-wide information. This is very valuable for every employee, every, teacher, staff, personnel. My heart goes out to, all our, family members in the district, that they do have the liberty and the integrity to, retire with dignity and to come out, winning ahead near the end is more than we can ask. So well done, very well in the explanation. I think the graph were very well done, so it's very comprehensive. Members, any questions, comments?
Question. Ms. Almaraz, can you tell us how many employees we currently have under the ESI program?
Currently we have 15, and I just had our very first meeting just after spring break, and I've given them, well, originally I'd given them to the 11th to let me know that they were interested, but because we were presenting, I opened it up another week, and we currently have 10 or 11 that are interested in going to ESI for next school year, the 25-26 school year.
Okay, so we would have 15 plus possibly.
Well, they come back after a year, so the 15 that are currently on it will move back into coming back into as a Tolleson employee on their start date. So some of those are different. Some of them may be July 1, where a teacher would be July 23rd. So those 15, actually 14, because one went in February, so they wouldn't come back to us as a Tolleson employee until February. But the rest will come back to us as a Tolleson employee once they hit their year.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And now to the next item on the agenda, the consent agenda items. Before we roll call, I would like to table G1, approval ratification of human resources personnel items. Can I have a second? I motion.
Second.
Thank you. So can we get a roll call for the consent agenda minus the first item on the consent agenda?
Just clarify, are you tabling it or just taking it off for a second?
We're taking it off for the vote, so we're going to table it. No, we're just going to put it off the agenda.
So you need the motion to approve consent agenda with the exception of item G1, and then we need to go separate.
Oh, well, I thought we could just do that all at once.
No.
It's a consent, so.
All right, so I motion to approve the consent agenda Roll call?
So just to clarify, we're approving the consent agenda as presented, with the exception of number 1?
Well, that's what I'm saying earlier, is I would like to approve the consent agenda, but I would like to table G1.
So we're not gonna address it at all in this meeting?
No. So going back to that, so shall I just ask for the motion, with the exception of G1 to be tabled? And I'm making that motion and had a second from De Blasio.
Dr. Luna Naheda?
Wow. It is absolutely unfair to human resources, the employees who are hoping to get approved, people who are trying to retire, to put this on hold, so no.
Mr. Del Palacio?
Yes.
Mr. Miguel Ortega Romero?
Same.
Mr. Chapman?
No.
Ms. Sen?
Yes.
No was that.
And now to the next agenda, H, we will be discussing in consideration to award the contract for the construction manager at risk, CMAR 25-19-27, for high school number 8. Superintendent, guys, take it away.
Point of order. You still have to address item G.
Did the motion fail?
We lost.
So we need another motion.
Okay. Can I get a motion to, for the consent agenda item, I'm sorry, for the, approve of the consent agenda?
So moved.
It's the same thing.
Chapman seconded.
Who first?
Madam President made the motion. Chapman seconded.
Yeah, second.
Sorry about that. Dr. Luna Naheda?
No.
Mr. Del Palacio?
Yes.
Mr. Ortega Romero?
Yes.
Mr. Chapman?
Yes.
And Ms. Sun?
Yes. And now we'll move to the next item, H, action discussion item, consideration to award the contract for the construction manager at risk, CMAR 25-19-27 for high school number 8. Superintendent.
Yes, Madam President, before we move on to that item, I do want to celebrate one of those who was on that consent agenda item, our new principal, and Ms. Stacy Almaraz will do the introduction.
Getting
So
consent.
crazy we can spend fucking money.
President
but we can't
Chapman.
deal with this shit, huh? I'm fucking done with this shit.
President Lisa's son, Vice President Mr. Chapman, and members of the board. I do want to introduce our new principal
interim principal who will essentially move on to the new school. We had interviews, 2 weeks ago, maybe a week ago, and we did make a final decision, and I would like to bring up and introduce our new principal, Mr. Martin Perez.
So good evening, President Sun, Vice President Chapman, governing board members, Superintendent Calles, and Tolleson Union High School District community. It is with deep pride and heartfelt gratitude that I stand here before you today as a newly principal of Tolleson High School. This opportunity is more than a position, it's a calling. I'm truly honored by the trust you placed in me as I step into this role with a strong sense of purpose and commitment to our district's mission, cultivating the future of every student and staff member so they can enrich our community. I look forward to working in partnership with the governing board, Superintendent Calles, members of the cabinet, our dedicated Tolleson High School staff, students, families, and community partners. Together, we will build a culture rooted in excellence, equity, and opportunity, where every student is seen, valued, and empowered to succeed. I also want to take this opportunity to thank my wife, who's watching us on YouTube Live. She had to stay back with my daughter for fighting flu. I have my son Ezekiel here. I want to recognize her for her support, and I want to recognize my children, who you will see attend future Tolleson High School football games, school events. They will be there alongside me cheering on for the Wolverines. Again, I'm incredibly grateful for this opportunity, and I'm ready to get to work. Go Wolverines. Gracias.
And yes, Madam President, now I'll bring up our Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Ken Hicks, to present on the construction manager at-risk contract.
Let's make it real. Come on, does everybody clap? Just clap. Let's keep clapping.
Thank you very much.
We can't afford to clapping after buying a school time.
Thank you much, Madam President, members of the board, Superintendent Calles, colleagues and community members. Very proud to be standing here to introduce a recommendation for our CMAR number 25-19-27. I'll just start with what is a CMAR. First of all, what is 25-19-27? That's our naming convention for our procurement process, and this is for the award of a general contractor for high school number 8. CMAR, our construction manager at risk. I know we use acronyms all the time, so I apologize for that. So going a little bit deeper here just to explain what that is, and that's where it's an alternative, a separate project delivery method where we get the construction manager involved early, the general contractor early, so that they can help influence the design process and the building of it as soon as possible, so that when we bring to the governing board guaranteed maximum price, or a GMP, that means that they will then assume all the risk to make sure that it does not exceed that price. So it is a little bit of a difference historically, not recently, but historically, and it is an alternative project delivery method, APDM, of our procurement process. As you know, it's non-traditional, as I mentioned, and it's one of the 3 non-traditional ones that are identified in statute and also detailed in our administrative code. This process includes a lot of strict requirements, so that the procurement rules to ensure the fairness and transparency of the process. First, I just additionally like to go on with just the timeline. Just It has been an amazing, almost 8 weeks blur of putting this together as quickly as possible. And just as remember when I mentioned in the last slide, CMAR, the sooner we get our general contractor identified, the sooner they get embedded with our design architect firm to start making influences on the design so that we get it as cheap as possible so that when we set a GMP, we don't exceed it. So we're working to get them here as quickly as possible. We started with advertising in the newspaper. We released via Bonfire our e-procurement out to 960 vendors on March 13th. We do make sure that we put a deadline in there that if you have any questions, they submit it. We respond to everybody so everybody has the same information to make it as fair as possible. We selected committee members. The proposals were due April 4th. On April 9th, we asked every committee member to log in and make sure they read them all and score them by the end of that night so that we could then wake up the next morning, identify who we're going to interview and shortlist. So we did shortlist it down to 3 vendors on April 8th, and then we sent the letters out to them to set the interview date of that same Friday, so that April 11th, we had the interviews. Then immediately following that, those interviews, we deliberated. That said, very quickly, even the deliberation took 3 hours. So our committee members, which I'll introduce in a second, gave up that Friday from 8 a.m. until about almost 3 p.m. Just on the interviewing process and then deliberating. And you might ask, in context, is deliberating for 3 hours long or short? Not knowing. It's not like we bring CMARs to the board all the time. The previous CMAR, the deliberation was 45 minutes, and that was long to our previous history. Normally it's about 20 to 30 minute process. So for this one to go on almost 3 hours was an extreme amount of consideration and looking at everything from all sides. I would like to, before I go a little further into that, I'd like to just acknowledge our committee members that sacrificed all their time, and not just the day of that April 11th, but also all the time reviewing the proposals, so putting in probably 10 to 12 or 15 hours on the process. So first, let me, and we have a few of them here in the audience, so if you could just stand. I don't know if you want to give them a better applause than you gave me. Mr. Gabe Martinez, Ms. Joyce Council, Ms. Melissa Grimscheid, Mr. Gary Ms. Doris Denwellis was also with me, but we were non-facility members, so we did not vote, but we were guiding the committee, verifying everything to make sure that it was a complete, fair, and transparent process as much as possible. So I do value the insights. It is still, they signed confidentiality notices, and we talked to them about confidentiality. They actually can't really talk about all the stuff that happened until the board approves it or votes on it. So they're still, not sequestered, but in confidentiality mode. But I do appreciate the guidance the board has provided as we're going. The lots of questions, kicking it from every angle, every direction was very impressive. There is some selection, being on the committee, there are some very specific rules. One, you have to be a qualified committee member, meaning that you have to be competent and qualified. We verified that through the process. We talked to people before. We make sure that they know a little bit about what they're going into. You have to, per the rules, you have to have at least one person be a district representative, somebody that's an employee of the district. You cannot have more than 7 members, so there is a maximum amount, and one of the members has to be a licensed contractor that's part of their senior management. That was Mr. Jerry Reynolds, and one must be a registered architect, and that was Ms. Karen Wyckoff, our DLR architect for the high school. No compensation can be paid to our outside members, although I did actually provide them pizza that day, so if you do a working lunch, I wouldn't call it compensation, but we did give them pizza, so I fed them. And then there can be no conflict of interest, and so none of the members can participate in an awarded contract as a contractor or the subcontractor. Architect is not a contractor, or subcontractor, they are the architect, so they are allowed to and encouraged because they have the most information about the project. And so just looking through all of it, being part of various CMAR selection committees and everything, I would say that this has been one of the most fair evaluation processes I've ever been a part of, to see everybody look at every single angle so that we are making the best decision for our organization from their perspective, and then collectively coming together and making the recommendation. I'm very, very, very proud of being part of this committee and all the work that they've done, and so I'm very appreciative of them. And we are happy to recommend that the new high school go to the Chase building team. I'll stand for any questions.
Members, comments, questions?
No questions. As Mr. Hicks, just want to say thank you to you and everyone that was on the CMAR committee. I know those are arduous conversations and rankings and everything like that. I appreciate your additional support of our district in this very large project as we move forward, and as a lot of time. So thank you all for your hard work on that, and certainly to you and the business team and procurement facilities as we move forward.
Any other comments, questions, members?
Mr. Hicks, well, one, thank you to you and the committee for being able to provide us with this recommendation. I would like to ask, I mean, I'm not sure if you're able to say being confidential, but what were the other companies that were also kind of in the runnings for this?
It's confidential at this point, and so until the board makes a award, I'm not allowed to share any of the information. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Hicks, I want to thank you and the entire committee for your time to make sure this process was very thorough and transparent. Thank you for sharing the historical context. I didn't know that, you know, the longest one, sort of deliberation, if you will, or interview process was what, how many minutes?
How many did this one take? 3 hours, normally 30 to 40 minutes.
Normally 30 to 40 minutes. So obviously there was a lot of input, discussion, and deliberation on finding the very best partner we could have to ensure that they're, you know, we're building the very best. So again, just thank you to the entire committee for your time and effort into this process.
All right, thank you, members. Ken, thank you so much for the presentation. Again, I applaud those that on the committee going through this process. It's rare, but this will be our last high school, so you know, it does need a lot of you know, extra tender, you know, care, and you know, and we'll see and move forward. So with that said, can I get a motion?
Motion to approve the CMAR committee's recommendation.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Dr. Luna Najera,
No.
Mr. Del Palacio,
Yes.
Mr. Miguel Ortega Romero,
Abstain.
Mr. Chapman,
Yes.
and Ms. Sun.
No. Now on to the next item of the agenda, request for future agenda items. We have the recovery credits, requesting any other items that members would like to request. Okay, then
One request, the CMAR committee recommendation be brought back to the May agenda.
for that request, do we can we vote on that to bring it back? Or do we just want to have that brought back?
Madam President, our board policy states that any governing board member, as long as they give 10 days notice, can request an agenda item, so it wouldn't be something that we would vote on, we would just automatically bring this back to you on May 13th.
Okay, perfect. All right, then for future meetings of the governing board, housekeeping, May 13th, May 27th, June 10th, June 24th will be our regular meeting. But the 27th of May and the 10th of June, 24th of June will be at 3 p.m. And we will also be having our special meeting tomorrow at 6 p.m. And now, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second that, and roll call, please.
Dr. Luna Najera. Mr. Del Palacio.
Yes.
Mr. Ortega Romero.
Yes.
Mr. Chapman.
Yes.
Ms. Sun.
Yes. I hereby adjourn the meeting at 7:25.